more we hear about the devotees of the Lord, more we see that our faith in bhakti increases. Because whenever we hear about some devotee, we get inspired that yes, even I want to do bhakti like that. Even I want to advance in bhakti. Therefore, it is described that if you really want to advance in bhakti, then we have to seek shelter of great personalities. Now, when we have to seek shelter of great personalities, one is you physically associate with them, serve them, they'll bless us. Second is, through the scriptures like Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, we take shelter of great devotees. And there are some other great devotees who are not documented in the Shastra. But then the other sadhus, the other acharyas, they have authenticated saying they are great devotees. And like this, throughout India, from north till south, east, west, throughout, we have so many great devotees. And when we hear about them, surely we'll get goosebumps because pure devotional service is such a very amazing thing that when we hear about pure devotional service and pure devotees, we feel inspired and we also feel that even I should do like that. Even I should do bhakti like that. One such great devotee in Orissa, to be specific, Jagannath Puri, comes from a Muslim background. He took birth in the family of Muslims. So let's go back to the history and try to understand it more deeper. This was in the year 1360. Strong Mughal influence was there, and there was a personality called Sultan Firoz Tughlaq. He invaded Orissa. And you know what he tried to do? He tried to break the Jagannath temple. Many times this has happened. Many times. Many times, so many personalities, during Mughal rule and the Islam rule later, they wanted to break the temple of Lord Jagannath. But then one phenomena that was seen is that whatever happens, the devotees would not stop worshipping Lord Jagannath. Whatever happens. So when I was just reading this section in the article, I was thinking that how the faith in all of us, it's there in the blood. So anyone who takes birth in India, he cannot say, I don't believe in God. He cannot say that. If you scratch a bit, you'll find that he believes in God. Maybe for external fashion, this and that, he might say that I don't believe in God, but actually it's not the fact. And we see this very clearly. Therefore, each one of us who have taken birth in India, we are very, very fortunate. Because right from childhood, we have been hearing the names of the Lord. Right from childhood, we have been trained to do some worship, some Devata worship, some fasting, something. Yes? I was thinking, where is this faith coming from? Faith always comes from sadhus. There's no other source, you see. There's no other source. So there's so many sadhus in India, in this tract of land, who did tapasya. And by their blessings, we all have this great fortune of having the faith. Therefore, come what may, whatever happens throughout the country, be it war or be it some pestilence or be it some invasion like this that we're discussing, still the faith level, it might be here, it might come little down, but it will not go down. It's not that everyone starts saying that now God does not exist. Okay, when it comes to Indians, okay, understood. But what about the foreigners? See, when Srila Prabhupada went to Russia, he did this miracle. He empowered people there. In just 3 days, he empowered people. He invested faith, infused faith in each one of them. He just spoke to one person, and through that one person, he did the miracle. And you see, when the Russian devotees, when they would be caught chanting Hare Krishna, when they would be caught distributing Bhagavad Gita, when they would be caught preaching the message of Krishna consciousness, and when they were beaten black and blue, and they were told, if you stop chanting Hare Krishna, we'll stop beating you. You know what? They didn't stop. Maru. No problem. Maru. So I was wondering, where is this faith coming from? Faith comes from sadhu. And here we have a very wonderful example, Srila Prabhupada. He infusing that faith in these devotees in Russia. And we see how great devotees they became. Even today, the second largest group of devotees after India we find in Russia. And I don't think we should be astonished that if the number of devotees in Russia increase beyond the number that is there in India, I don't think we should be astonished. Yes. So even after this invasion, and even when the temple was broken many times, still the faith of devotees didn't go down in Jagannath Puri. And looking at this, the Mughal rulers, they went mad. They were thinking, what's wrong? Nothing is working. We should choose the best person who can do this service. The service of breaking the temple. And they chose the best person at that time. And his name was Emperor Jahangir. Now Jahangir was told he was given only one service, one activity to do. Somehow spoil this Jagannath temple. Somehow spoil the sanctity of the deity and make sure that the faith of the people around should be undermined. There's no question of their retaining their faith to the same level what they have it now. So what Jahangir did was, he thought that I should appoint a different governor and the governor should have a track record. And what is a track record? The track record of being the most cruel person. The track record of torturing Hindus. This track record. And they found one personality and his name was Lalbeg. This Lalbeg had a wonderful track record. He would torture the Hindus like anything at that time. Obviously the word Hindu does not exist in Shastra. But in general people use the word Hindu. But we can say the followers of Sanatana Dharma. He would torture them like anything. So when this was told to him that you have to do this act to undermine the faith of people, he had his headquarters in Cuttack. He started from there to Jagannath Puri. See, Jagannath has his own plans. Do you think that without Jagannath's sanction, anyone can touch his temple? Anyone can touch him? So Jagannath had his own plans. So you can imagine Salbeg. He started from Cuttack. To be more specific, Barbati Fort. And he was passing by one village called Danda Mukundapur. So when he was passing by, he saw one very beautiful widow, Brahmin lady. She was taking bath in a pond with all lotuses around and very beautiful and young. Her description, her background is given. So this lady, she was the daughter of very nice, staunch Brahmanas from the holy place. The father's name was Madhvarat and the mother's name was Sulakshana. And she, that is this lady, her name was Lalita. And Lalita was married in a young age to Bandhu Mishra. Now unfortunately, Bandhu Mishra left his body in a very early age. And this lady, she became a young widow. And this young lady, she was taking bath. And this personality, Lal Beg, he saw this beautiful girl. You know what he did? He thought, we can postpone the invasion of Jagannath Puri temple. I have more important thing to do now. You know what he did? He went and kidnapped this lady, abducted this lady. I told you Jagannath has his own plans. Jagannath has his own plans. Now she tried her best to escape. Nothing was happening. It was by force. Nothing was happening. She tried her best to convince him, but nothing was happening. He was not getting convinced. So finally she decided that I'll get married to this person. But she put one condition to this person. And the condition was, I will marry you, but make sure that you never ever harm the temple of the Lord or the houses of the devotees. I was thinking, what level of sacrifice is this? See, this is not Kali Yuga, at this age of Kali Yuga, this century, where people from different castes, they'll fall in love with each other and fall down and then get married or whatever. Yes. We're not talking about that. We're talking about, this is 17th century we're talking about. And see, some lady from a high class Brahmin family getting married to a Muslim, that's a very big thing. It means she's out of the community. She's out of the community, it means. But she accepted that. She was ready to sacrifice only for one reason. Let my Lord Jagannath's temple be saved. Let the devotees be protected always. And guess what? Lalbeg agreed. He said, okay, I'll not do that. Like this, we'll find many, many great kings in Jagannath Puri who have done amazing sacrifices just to protect the temple or to protect the Lord himself. Another great personality whom I was reading about is Ramachandra Dev. This was again 1720. So Ramachandra Dev was captured by the invader Taki Khan. And Taki Khan said, I will release you and I'll not harm the temple if you marry my daughter, if you marry my sister, Regia. And Ramchandra Dev had no interest in marrying a Muslim girl. Because he knew very well if he marries this Muslim girl, it means he's out of Jagannath Puri. He'll not be allowed in the Jagannath temple. See, the kings there, every day morning, their daily ritual is going to Jagannath's temple, taking his darshan. He was knowing very well that Jagannath's darshan will not be possible after this marriage. But just to protect the temple and the deities and the devotees, Ramchandra Dev agreed. He got married to Regia. And because of his sacrifice, the temple was protected during that era. And because of him, today, all of you know, the ones who have gone to Jagannath temple at Simhadwara, standing outside you see one Jagannath. Yes, that's called Patita Pavan Jagannath. That Jagannath appeared only for Ramchandra Dev. Ramchandra Dev considered himself, I am Patit, I am fallen. And Lord came to deliver him. And in the pretext of delivering him, delivering all of us, and he appeared there as Patita Pavan Jagannath. Look at the sacrifice of these wonderful devotees. I was thinking that when it comes to us, we should also think about this. Every time being self-centered will not help us to advance in bhakti. But if every time we can be God-centered and devotee-centered, we'll surely advance in bhakti. If the thought is this, that how can I save the Lord, His temple, and as of now, saving the Lord and His temple means preaching the mission of Krishna consciousness. If somehow we can get that fire, that missionary spirit of going around and preaching the message of Krishna consciousness, sacrificing our personal needs, our time, our energy, our intelligence, our hard-earned money, it's commendable. It's commendable. We will also come in this category then. Therefore, sacrifice is very, very important. Those who sacrifice for the pleasure of the Lord, they are the ones who will make it back home, back to Godhead. Very, very important thing to note in this context. Now, this personality, he got married to Lalita, and then he changed the name of Lalita, such a beautiful name, Lalita. But her name was changed to Fatima Bibi. And both of them, obviously now she has agreed to stay with him. Both of them, they started living together. And they begot a son. And this son was born on the auspicious day of Radhashtami in the year 1592, 16th September. Therefore, I was telling, Lord has his own plans. Unfortunately, we are not able to understand Lord's plans. And we keep questioning that why Lord is doing this and why Lord is doing that. We cannot understand. If we start understanding Lord's plan, then don't you think we are above the Lord? Yes. How can we understand Lord's plans? How can we understand that why Prahlad has to take birth in Hiranyakashipu's family only? Obviously, now we know by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada When the seventh canto of Srimad Bhagavatam is there with us, readily available, we know why he appeared in the house there. But just imagine, at that time, when he is the only person who is doing bhakti, and all around, there are only demons. You can imagine a situation. Therefore, when it comes to us in our day-to-day life, one point is very important to note, especially when we are taken to the process of devotional service. We have to very diligently take to the 6 angas of Sharanagati. The 6 angas of Sharanagati. Anukulyasya Sankalpa. Anukulyasya Sankalpa means accepting things which are favorable to Krishna consciousness. As soon as we hear in the class that this is what is favorable to Krishna consciousness, immediately we accept. That's the sign of Sharanagati. Second, Pratikulyasya Varjanam. Rejecting all that is unfavorable to Krishna consciousness. So as soon as we hear, we read in Shastra that so and so thing, by doing that I'll regress in bhakti, immediately we should give it up. ऐसे नहीं कि we'll wait for some muhurat and then after that we'll stop, etc., etc. No. As soon as we hear that meat eating is not proper, we give it. Intoxication is not proper, we give it. See, that act of giving up, that itself shows that I am already on the path of Sharanagati. And a person who is on the path of Sharanagati, Krishna takes special interest in that devotee's life. Not in everyone's life, in that devotee's life. The third anga of Sharanagati is Rakshashiti Vishwasaha. Having complete faith that Lord will protect me. Who else will protect? He is the one who protects. Gopatratve Varnam Tatha. Fourth limb. That is, Lord will maintain me in every situation. Fifth, Atmanikshepa. Complete submission to the Lord. That is having same interest as that of the Lord. Whatever Lord wants, that I will. Depending completely on the Lord for progress in bhakti. That is called as Atmanikshepa. Karpanya means humility. That is the sixth limb, Karpanya. Having this humble mood that Lord is great and I'm very, very chutku in front of him. I'm very, very follow. These are the 6 limbs of Sharanagati, and anyone who follows the 6 limbs of Sharanagati, that person is very, very special. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Shadanga Sharanagati hoibe jahar, tahara prarthana shune Sri Nanda Kumar. So whose prayers the Lord hears? The prayers of that devotee who is on the path of Sharanagati. And that devotee's life, whatever happens, that is the plan of the Lord. Therefore, it's very, very important that all of us who are now taken up to Krishna consciousness should see how we can follow or how we can come to this path of Sharanagati. Sharanagati plus angas of devotional service, Shravanam, Kirtanam, etc. Together, this is the combination by which a devotee will advance Krishna consciousness. And Lord has his own plan for such devotees. Even if in some course in his life, if he deviates from the path of bhakti, Lord will drag that person back home, back to God. How are you going away? You surrender to me once, there's no question of going off now. He drags the devotee back home, back to God. Lord has his own plans. And look at this. A Muslim invader, he marries a widow lady Lalita, he changes his name to Fatima. And now they beget a son on the auspicious day of Radhastami. And he names him as Salbeg. Salbeg. And this personality, Salbeg, he was trained very nicely. He was trained very nicely in all the skills of being a warrior. What happened is one day, a mullah, the mullah means the saintly people, in the court of the Mughal rulers. So this personality, they got many allegations against Lal Beg. And he was asked to leave the place. He was asked to leave Orissa. So at that time, when he was leaving the place, so some invaders, they came and they killed this personality, Lal Beg. See, one thing is very clear. that if we develop hatred towards any personality, remember one thing, that that same hatred will be reflected in those whom we love also, or those whom we have friendship, with those whom we consider as part of our group. Yes? So all these people are supposed to be together, but look at what's happening. One member of the same community is trying to kill another member. Trying, he killed another member. Therefore, it's very important. Again, in the life of devotees, there is no question of developing hatred. Especially, see, when we are in a community like this, and if you are really interested to grow this community and make it more bigger and bigger and bigger, then one thing is very important, that we don't develop hatred towards any devotee in the community. As soon as you develop hatred towards any devotee in the community, remember that that will spread in various ways. We'll start hating others also. We'll start speaking ill. Now tell me, where the undercurrent is all about hatred, how that community will sustain? Tell me. Especially for congregation devotees, it's very, very important, because it's very easy, to talk and easy to share our heart in whatever ways in different programs or whatever. But as soon as this hatred comes into picture, remember, we'll not be able to expand the mission of Krishna consciousness. That community which is united, that community which has love and devotion, that community which shares Krishna consciousness with each other, oh, that community is strong and that community will grow. Just staying united and cooperating with each other, that itself is a big service to Srila Prabhupada. That itself is a big service, because Prabhupada instructed. The last days, Prabhupada instructed, cooperate, cooperate. So if we don't cooperate and if we develop hatred towards even one devotee, one is our community will not grow. And it is very nicely given that if we hate even one entity in this material world, we are not making our way back home, back to God. Even one entity, one entity. I also heard, in fact, I was reading one article by Bhaktivinoda Thakur called Sri Harinama. There he says there are 4 categories of living entities. He starts with Vaishnavas, and then he says, following Dharma, and then he comes down. And 4th category says living entities, normal living entities. And it is described, even those normal living entities cannot be hated. If we develop hatred towards any entity, congratulations, we'll take birth again in this material world. Again. And look at this very obnoxious situation. The same community person is killing the member of the community. Now, after this, what happened is, Lalbeg's son, and his name was Salbeg. So Salbeg was given the responsibility, and he was made the new Subedar. And now he was given the role to remove the Gajapati rule from Orissa, or from Jagannath Puri. Because in Jagannath Puri we have king who takes care of the entire place. Remove that Gajapati rule and establish Mughal rule, Mughal administration. Bichare kitna prayas kiya, they were not able to establish Jagannath Puri. You can imagine how strong the kings were at that time. So once what happened is, when he was going with his army, at that time Salbeg, he was attacked, and Salbeg was very, very severely injured. Very severely injured. To an extent that it was a question of life and death. He was completely shattered internally and externally. His body was wounded like anything. So at that time, he approached his mother and he asked his mother, what am I supposed to do now? What am I supposed to do? So when I was just reading this section where Salbeg, in such a very difficult, critical health situation, when he's approaching his mother, I was thinking that it's a fact that in the critical situations we're going to approach that person who we're attached to. And looks like he might be attached to his mother, so he's approaching. Have you seen whenever we fall or we have some injury or whatever? I don't know about all devotees here, but then newcomers or even outsiders for that matter, immediately, Mommy, Papa, whatever, Ma. Have you seen that? Yes. That shows the attachment. So I was wondering that in the critical situation, if you're remembering Mummy, Papa, because finally the ultimate critical situation in life is what? Death. Death के time मम्मी पापा सब नहीं चलेगा. Yes. You say mummy papa, Yamadutas will beat like anything. So at that time, if you have to utter the name Krishna or chant very intensely from within, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. So if you have to do this at the time of death, attachment to develop करना पड़ेगा ना भगवान के प्रति. We don't develop attachment towards the Lord. Then how will we call out the Lord's name in the critical situation? I always say this. The test now is whenever we are in critical situation, suddenly something happens. What comes out from the mouth? You can understand your attachment. Easily you can understand. I remember my distant relative, when he was admitted in the hospital, about to leave his body, he was calling out for his grandmother. We never heard grandmother's name from his mouth. But during his death, he was calling out for his grandmother. Because his grandmother was the one who took care of him. His parents died in a very early age. I was wondering, this is called as attachment. Recently, in one of the brahmachari class, we were having this discussion. That currently, the time that we have is given so that we can develop attachment towards the Lord. And especially attachment to the holy name of the Lord. Technically, that is called as Nam Ruchi. Developing Nam Ruchi. See, we cannot give reason. नहीं मैं तो भक्ति में लेट आया तो ठीक है अभी मुझे बख्श देना चाहिए. It's okay and I should be given some concession. Nothing doing. Before we reach fag end of our life, it's very important that we get this Nam Ruchi, taste for chanting the holy names of the Lord. Many times when we have discussion with congregation devotees and we talk about sadhana bhakti, so that time devotees say, Prabhuji, आप जो बोलते हैं तो अच्छा लगता है सुनने में, लेकिन where is the time for doing all this? And the answer to this is it's not about time, it's about taste. It's about taste. If you develop taste in Krishna consciousness, then it is possible. And therefore, one thing is very, very important, that before we reach certain level, or what should I say, certain phase of our life, this one term, Nam Ruchi, becomes very, very important. Because when we develop Nam Ruchi, then continuously we'll be able to chant. Nirantar Nam will be possible. Then I was thinking, Nam Ruchi kahan milega fir? Where will I get this Nam Ruchi from? Nam Ruchi we will get from that personality who has it. You cannot develop Nam Ruchi. ऐसे नहीं कि मैं कुछ करके I'll develop Nam Ruchi. No, that's not possible. That person who has it can give it. Therefore, we always say this. Krishna se toma, Krishna dete par, tumara shakti ache. Amito Kannamangala, Krishna Krishna boli, dhai tab pache pache. Such a beautiful song. Last line is Amito Kannamangala. I'm a beggar. Now some of you might say, Naini Prabhuji aisa nahi, I stay in villa. I have this car, I have that car. Arey chodo. How does that matter? How does that matter? What matters is, do you have Nam Ruchi or not? Because Golokera Prema Dhan is what? Harinam Sankirtan. Arey Baba, wo dhan nahi hai, to baki dhan rakh ke kya fayda? Yes. Therefore, we are praying to the Vaishnavas, we are praying to the great personalities like Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, I am Kangal, I am a beggar, kuch nahi hai mere paas. And say Prabhupada starts listing, nahi, tere paas to ye hai, tere paas to wo hai, wo sab theek hai, but how does that matter? I don't have Nam Ruchi. Prabhupada, you have Nam Ruchi. You please bestow Nam Ruchi to me. And that devotee who is blessed with Nam Ruchi, taste for chanting the holy names. Oh, his sadhana will get into autopilot mode. He'll never be able to stop chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Therefore, developing attachment is very, very important. And here we see Salbeg had attachment to his mother. He didn't know the background of his mother. He went to his mother and he asked, Kya karna chahiye? He's wounded, very badly wounded. Situation is almost like death. And therefore he's asking, What am I supposed to do? Now, understanding the situation of Salbeg, Fatima, she said something. I mean, Salbeg, he got goosebumps. So Fatima said, "Oh, my dear son, only Gopinath can save you. Only Gopinath can save you." Now, this person is thinking, Gopinath? Krishna? And he said, "Mother, you belong to a Muslim family. You're so faithful. And Krishna is Hindu God. How can you call? How can you say this?" And at that time, Fatima, she said, "I was actually not Fatima, I was." And she described the entire thing and she said, "This is what happened. This is what your father did to me. And this is what took place. And you took birth on the auspicious day of Radhashtami. And therefore, I would recommend, if you really want to save yourself now in this critical situation, take shelter of Gopinath." So at that time, she says a very nice thing. I think this is in Odia. Shri Vrindavana Chandra Bhaja Sei Jai Ashesh Devaraj. Oh, my dear son, you do bhajan of whom? Vrindavana Chandra, Krishna. You chant his holy names. Who is he? Ashesha Devaraja. He is Devraj. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Many times people say Prabhupada is saying that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. देखिए, Fatima भी बोल रही. Lalita is also saying Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ashesha Aushadhira Ghara. He is the abode of all the medicine for all the possible diseases. Bhajile Nishche Heba Parar. If you take his shelter, he will help you to cross over the miseries that you're going through. See, Salbeg had a very important question. Anyone can guess what was the question of Salbeg? His question was, who is this Krishna? How does he look? Where he belongs to? Which place? And you're saying, take his shelter. How should I take his shelter? These were the exact questions which were asked to Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada said, Krishna is Supreme Personality of God. I was reading in Lilamrita, Prabhupada is giving his first class. The place which was given to him by Dr. Mishra. There are some 3-4 people sitting. And Prabhupada is saying, Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. And these people who are sitting, they had no clue who Krishna is. Question mark on the face. And Prabhupada is looking at them, Krishna, 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 you don't know Krishna. And then Prabhupada realized which place he is in. And where he is supposed to start from. What is supposed to explain. You can imagine? Imagine Prabhupada's situation. And here, very beautifully, this lady, she started speaking. She said a very, very important thing. That you have to take shelter of the Lord. He asked all this question and he said, "Oh mother, you have kept me in your womb. You have brought me up to this level. Whatever you say, I'll follow. I'm indebted to you." When I was reading this, I was thinking, yes, we do understand that our parents have done something for us, something so much for us, and we naturally feel grateful to them. So we are having indebtedness to the mortal beings of this world, our parents, because we see that they have done so much for us. But where is that gratitude and where is that responsibility towards the Supreme Lord Krishna, our eternal parent, who himself is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Aham Bija Pradapita, I am the eternal father of everyone. Where is the question or where is the responsibility or execution of responsibility towards Krishna? So many times we talk about these things, about our responsibility towards various personalities of this world. But what about him? Therefore, all those devotees who chant Hare Krishna, who have decided that this life is meant for Krishna's service, they are the ones who are actually very, very responsible and are executing their duties properly. This is the foremost duty. The foremost duty is to serve Krishna. This is the foremost duty. Rest everything else will fall in place if we come to this platform of serving Krishna. And obviously, as devotees who are married, it's very important to take care of family because that's dharma. It has to be taken care. But in the course of dharma of this world, we cannot forget the paro dharma, that is devotional service to the Lord. And finally, as Srila Prabhupada says in second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, finally, before we leave the body, 10 to 15 years before we leave the body, Prabhupada says that one should be a full-time devotee serving Krishna full-time. Telling Krishna, आपने इतना कुछ किया मेरे लिए, इतने जन्मों जन्मों से किया. Now it's my turn. Obviously, I couldn't give my entire life, but this last phase of my life I'm giving. I want to be a full-time devotee. To plan our life in such a way that we have enough time to practice devotional service for a good number of years before we leave this body. Some devotees are asking, "जी, इसका मतलब क्या है? Before leaving the body? किसको पता कभी कौन छोड़ेगा?" So you can decide what to do. हमने तो decide कर लिया. But on a serious note, every Grihastha devotee should plan. Should plan their financial requirement, should plan their entire life, and should plan to execute the actual responsibility to the real Father, Lord Shri Krishna. And look at him. He is saying, "Oh mother, you have taken care of me so much. You have begotten me. I will follow whatever you're telling." Such a wonderful reciprocation. And same mode we can have towards Krishna. "Oh Radha, Vrindavan Krishna, you are my eternal parents. I will do whatever you want." And at that time, Krishna will say, "Surrender unto me." And today we listed down the 6 limbs of surrender. You're supposed to follow the path of surrender. So at this point of time, Lalita or Fatima, she smiled and she started describing. She said, "My dear son, please hear carefully. I'm going to describe to you about that great personality who is my life and soul." Now you can imagine, even when she was in that critical situation of being in the family of some other faith, internally, she never lost her attachment to Lord Jagannath, never. And her attachment can be seen now when she is describing Krishna. Very beautifully she describes, and she is saying that ever youthful Krishna, Gopinath, he eternally resides in Vrindavan. His father's name is Nanda Maharaj, mother's name is, he said, telling all this, right from scratch, crash course. And then she started saying that he lives in a place where all the people, they're cowherd men. Their main thing that they do is herding the cows. There are gopas, there are gopis. And Krishna has her beloved gopi, and her name is Srimati Radharani. Can you imagine? Lalita is describing all this. There's a very beautiful prayer that is offered in glorification to the Lordships. Please repeat. Radha Radhita Radhesha Radhika Prana Vallabha Radha Ramana Vandetva Radhika Prema Nirjita. So each word here, it talks about how Krishna is the Lord of Srimati Radharani. Radha Radhita Radhesha, the one who is worshipped by Srimati Radharani exclusively, that Krishna I pay obeisance to. Radhesha, that personality who is master of Srimati Radharani, I pay obeisance to that personality. Radhika Prana Vallabha, who is life and soul of Srimati Radharani, I offer my obeisances to him. Radha Ramana, the one who gives pleasure to Srimati Radharani, I pay obeisance to him. Radhika Prema Nirjita, who is conquered by the pure love of Srimati Radharani. To that personality, I offer my humble obeisances. So here in this shloka, it's very beautiful. When I heard it for the first time, attracted the attention that such wonderfully, this prayer, it talks about how Srimati Radharani's life and soul is Lord Shri Krishna. And therefore, Srila Prabhupada, when he was greeted in Vrindavan, Radhe Radhe, at that time Prabhupada would reply, Hare Krishna. And Prabhupada said that we devotees, we make sure that Radha and Krishna are always together. And therefore we say, Hare Krishna. Therefore, that's how we chant, Hare Krishna. And then she continued. And she started saying, she started talking about the beautiful complexion of Krishna. So in ISKCON, during Shringararti, we chant the prayer. Venam kvanantam aravinda dalayataksha barhavatam samasitam buddhasundaranga kandarpakotika maniya vishesha shobham govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. So that beautiful Lord who is holding Venu, his flute. And how is his complexion? His complexion is like freshly formed rainfall cloud. And that's what even Lalita is describing. Krishna's complexion is this. He holds a flute. He wears beautiful Vaijayanti Mala. And he stands in threefold bending form. And she goes on and on and on describing his attire, his yellow dhoti and his ornaments and everything. And who is hearing all this? The injured personality, Salbeg, is hearing all this. And at that time, he says, whoever takes shelter of him need have no fear. My dear son, just meditate on him by chanting the holy names. Immediately, Salbeg had a question. Okay, I'll chant his holy name, but he is there in Vrindavan. We are in Orissa. How will he hear us? And at that time, she said, oh, my dear son, Krishna and Krishna's holy name are not different. Whenever you call out, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Whenever you call out, Lord is personally present to give you his association. See, one important thing she said. She said that if you rapidly meditate upon him, leaving aside all fear and confusion, certainly within 12 days he'll hear your prayer. Now, I was wondering, 12 number lie kahan se Fatima? Where this devotee Lalita, where did she get this number 12? This is the glory of these great devotees. They'll tell something, and Lord is expected to execute that. Ekdam confidently. 12 din karo, Lord will come. Lord will help you. Srila Prabhupada also. Confidently he has given us, if you do this, follow these instructions given by me, I will take you back home, back to God. भगवान भी सोचते रहेंगे, अरे ये लोग, especially the one who is speaking, ये लोग गोलोक कैसे आएंगे हरि बोल? But because Prabhupada has said, and if we follow, by the way, this is very important. Jai Prabhupada से काम नहीं चलता है. Following the instructions of Prabhupada, when we follow the instruction, what happens is, Lord takes special interest in our life because he thinks, oh, this personality, this sadhaka, is following the instruction of my pure devotee. And therefore, I'll take special interest in his life. Therefore, it's very important that we list down what instructions Prabhupada has given and follow those instructions. Every time you follow the instruction, remember, you're in the limelight. Krishna is watching. Krishna is taking special interest. And here Fatima is saying 12 days. My dear son, 12 days. And just by hearing this, Fatima also mentioned, Fatima said that in 12 days, if Lord does not help, this is how a pure devotee is putting the Lord under pressure. In 12 days, if Lord does not help, oh my dear son, you and me, both of us will give up our life. Now Jagannath will be thinking, Arey Baba, kya kar rahi hai Mataji? What are you doing? And guess what? Looking at the confidence of Fatima or Lalita, let's use the word Lalita now, is the discussion of devotion. And the faith that she bestowed in the heart of Salbeg, Salbeg started intensely practicing whatever she described. Day and night together, he started meditating on Vrindavan Chandra, Vrindavan Krishna, by chanting his holy names, begging and praying to him. But one thing that took place is, 12 din ho gaye, kuch nahi hua. And now this Salbeg is asking his mother, Ma, 12 days are over? Nothing is happening? At that time, the mother is telling, activities of the Lord are extraordinary. Activities of the Lord are extraordinary. His mercy often comes in the form of suffering. He does this to examine our patience. One who withstands that test actually gets his mercy. Don't be disheartened, my dear son. Surrendering onto his lotus feet is the only resource left for us, only recourse left for us. This is such a wonderful point which Lalita is making. He's saying, come what may, bhakti shouldn't stop, my dear son. This is how preachers preach. इतना करो बस हो गया, इतना करो. Everything will be taken care. Prabhu, nothing is happening. अरे ठीक से करो और ठीक से करो. Increase your rounds. Do this, do that. And by the mercy of devotees like this, we are able to continue practicing our devotional service. And one point to note here is very, very important. Come what may, whatever happens in our life, there's no question of pausing devotional service. No question. Sadhana should go on and on and on. Let anything happen. That was the message, that was given. That was the message, that was given to Salbeg. Don't stop, my dear son. This is the testing time. See, all the pure devotees in the history, you name a pure devotee, they were tested. आपको क्या लगता है हमारा टेस्ट नहीं होगा? अच्छे से टेस्ट होगा. But then the best part is when Krishna is testing a devotee, he will test only that devotee is qualified to go through that test. And the another best part is when Krishna is testing, Krishna will give the courage, confidence, and patience to go through that test. And the preparation for becoming qualified is now that is what is going on with all of us. This is the preparation. Everyday sadhana is the preparation. Therefore, as I was saying about Nam Ruchi, why will Prabhupada give us Nam Ruchi? Say, Prabhupada asked, why should I give you Nam Ruchi? And then we can tell Prabhupada, see, whatever you're telling, I'm doing. I'm doing everything, whatever you're telling. Without any stop. I'm doing every day. That will attract. Our sadhana will not attract the mercy. Our sadhana will attract the heart of these Vaishnavas. And these Vaishnavas, when they look at us, oh, he's struggling. He's struggling to do his sadhana every day. And when they see our struggle, at that time they bestow mercy onto us. Therefore, I always tell that sadhaka in English is obviously spiritual practitioner. But I call sadhaka a struggler. And that person who continues to struggle, that person is a successful sadhaka. Because that struggle is going to attract the heart of the Vaishnavas like Srila Prabhupada and our Acharyas in the Parampara. They will bestow mercy onto us. Yes. Therefore, it's very important that we follow the sadhana bhakti in such a way that we please these Acharyas. And these Acharyas will be pleased when we don't pause bhakti anytime. इसके बाद करते हैं नहीं जो भी आने वाला उसको साइड में रखो इसको खत्म करो. Do your sadhana for that day and then comes the rest of it. Very, very important point to note, especially for devotees who are married, having family. I was hearing from a few of our students that रोज एक के बाद एक कुछ ना कुछ आ रहा है, क्या करें? कुछ नहीं, जब करो और क्या करोगे? Continue doing sadhana, that's what you're supposed to do. So in this way, when she spoke, she preached to him, but internally she's praying to Gopinath. And she's saying, oh Lord, with great miracles you have delivered innumerable persons from their various sufferings. There is nothing unknown to you. Please open up your heart towards us. Without your mercy, we are certainly doomed. Please shower your mercy onto us, O Lord. Please shower your mercy onto us. This is how Srila Prabhupada has prayed for all of us. Sometimes I wonder, हम भक्ति कैसे कर रहे? How are we able to do sadhana bhakti? Because of His mercy. Because He has prayed for us. Anyone who comes to ISKCON, anyone who starts practicing bhakti, oh Lord, please shower mercy onto them. Please shower your mercy onto them. इस कभी कभी मैं जब खुद के बारे में सोचता हूँ, हम कैसे भक्ति कर पा रहे हैं? As we look back and see our background, how is it possible with that background to practice bhakti? Yes, It's only because of prayers of personalities like Srila Prabhupada we are able to continue doing sadhana bhakti. And here, Lalita is praying that, oh Lord, you're the only hope for us. You please bless us. You please bless us. In this way, she prayed, and there was a miracle. Salbeg, one night when he was sleeping, in the dream, Gopinath appeared. And guess what? He was able to recognize Gopinath. He was able to recognize. After all, he had heard the description. And at that time, Gopinath, he does the miracle in such a way that all the wounds of the body of Salbeg were removed completely. This was in the dream, by the way. And when Salbeg got up, he's looking at his body and there are no wounds. And he's ecstatic. He's completely ecstatic. He's jumping in ecstasy. And he's telling his mother, Mother, a great miracle has happened, a great miracle has happened. And Lalita also saw that. And then Lalita said, this is what Gopinath does. He has done this miracle. Tell me, removing the wound is a miracle? No. It's a miracle, no doubt. But then that's not a true miracle, I would say. You know what is a true miracle? True miracle is helping the devotee to advance in bhakti. And look at him. This was a miracle that now this personality, Salbeg, he decided, my dear mother Lalita, this life, whatever is remaining, now it's meant for only Krishna service. This is miracle. This is miracle. Wounds of the body going away, okay, chalo, theek hai. Some doctor can also do. But this is the miracle where Krishna's mercy is shown in the form of the devotee's commitment towards exclusive devotional service. This is miracle. And we understand Salbeg, after this, he becomes a very great devotee. He goes to Jagannath Puri. Do you think there people might have treated him properly? Same person who was coming and attacking the place, they knew very well, हाँ सब पता है drama कर रहा है. People would firstly not allow him inside the temple. Second, speak ill about him, beat him at times, treat him very, very improperly. And Salbeg, at this point of time, when he decided that this life is for the Lord, exclusive devotional service, he was not cursing all of them. He was not saying that, no, in my dream, Lord had come, you people, you don't know, you are fallen, I am elevated, nothing doing. At that point of time, when all the people around in Jagannath Puri, can you imagine, no one in the entire Jagannath Puri was taking him inside the house. Such a great personality who has got darshan of the Lord and such a great miracle. I was wondering, should we wait a miracle like this to happen in our life? Why are we hearing all these pastimes? We are hearing these pastimes so that we don't wait for a miracle. We pray to the Lord, oh Lord, let the miracle happen now, not later. Oh Lord, please bless me so that I can also do exclusive devotional service. Very, very important. Look at this personality, Salbeg. He was not cursing anyone. Instead, you know what he did? In that very, very pitiable situation, Salbeg, he started writing poems. And those poems were the poems, or his very, very wonderful compositions, were the compositions which were highlighting the mood of separation from Krishna. Intense mood of separation from Krishna. This is how a devotee acts. He converts a critical situation, a crisis, into an opportunity to get closer to Krishna, and Salbeg did that successfully. Very wonderfully he did that. And with every composition of his, he was getting closer to Krishna. And his mood was very clear. In those songs, he was writing his determination to attain the lotus feet of the Lord. And in the same song, again and again, he would mention, I am that Patita Salbeg. I am that fallen personality Salbeg. And this mode we can see in our Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara. This mode of separation from the Lord is given to us by Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu This is what makes us different as compared to that of other sampradayas. It's a very topmost mode which we cannot understand at this point of time. But one thing is very clear, that this mode was given to us, worshipping the Lord or serving the Lord in the mood of separation. Salbeg was doing that. And he had this mood which we also have to imbibe. Oh Lord, you are very great. I am very fallen. The same mood is exhibited by Raghunath Das Goswami, where he says, Adhama pamara mui hina jiva dhama mora ichha hai paya chaitanya charan. Raghunath Das Goswami is saying, Oh Lord, he's speaking to Nityananda Prabhu after the Chidadai festival. And he's saying, Oh Lord, Adhama, you can translate, Adhama, fallen, Pamara, sinful, Hina, untouchable, Jivadhama, I'm the most lowest of all the living entities. अभी ये सब बोलने के बाद see what he says. Mora ichha hai. I have intense desire. What is an intense desire? My intense desire is Mora ichha hai paya chaitanya charana. I want to attain the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya. You please bless me. By your blessing is possible. This is the mode in which we see in Salbeg songs also. This mode is very clear that, oh Lord, you're so great. I am fallen, but I want to attain your lotus feet. After all, human form I've got just to attain your lotus feet. And in this way, he continued doing his devotional service. And at one point of time, he decided, let me go to Vrindavan. And he started from Vrindavan. In a place called Balasur, when he goes there, there is a very beautiful temple of Shyam Sundar, Lord Krishna. Again, he was not allowed in the temple. He was waiting outside the temple. And the pujari, when he went inside the altar, the deity was not there. Haribol kya Haribol? Deity is outside. नहीं बाहर भी नहीं है. Deity is disappeared. The pujari is wondering, deity कहाँ गया? And that news went to the king. And the king, they were so exalted that he had got a dream that where Salbeg is standing outside and he's trying to take darshan and he's not getting darshan. So immediately the next day, the king, he made a hole in the wall of the temple so that he can directly see the deity from the outside without entering the temple. So as soon as that hole was made, and when Salbeg, he looked into that, the deity appeared again. Lord can do anything for devotees. Anything. In Udupi, the Lord turned for his devotee. Therefore, in Udupi, we don't take darshan of the Lord from the door, but we take darshan of the Lord from the window. Because the Lord turned in such a way that the great devotee of the Lord at that point of time was not allowed inside the temple. He was able to get darshan. Isn't that wonderful? What is needed is qualification. Bas. Lord is ready to reciprocate like anything with each one of us. And then Salbeg, he continued. He went and look at his mood. His mood is he's writing in a song. I want to live in Vrindavan only. Okay, what will you do in Vrindavan? I'll take bath in Radhakund. I'll take bath in Shamakund. I'll go around Giri Govardhan. I'll drink the nectarian water of Jamuna. What else will you do? I'll chant and dance, singing the holy names of the Lord on the banks of Jamuna. In this way, he goes on and on and on. Where will you sleep? I'll sleep under the trees of Vrindavan because they're Kalpa Vriksha. I'll sleep under the trees of Vrindavan. This is called as mood. Sab chhod diye. He's going to Vrindavan and he has this mood. Yes. Look at his background, what background he comes from and what mood he currently has. All glory. All glory to Lalita. Now he gave this mood. And after going there, long past time, cutting it short, almost it was 1 year. And our Salbeg, now he is our Salbeg. He gets a desire. He gets a desire that I want to take darshan of Jagannath. अभी वृंदावन कहाँ है पता है ना सब लोग को. जगन्नाथपुरी पता है कहाँ है. So from Vrindavan he wanted to go to Jagannathpuri. For your information, the ones who are not followers of Sanatana Dharma, they are not allowed inside the temple, the main temple. Even today, all our foreign devotees who come from the West, and other places. They're not allowed inside the temple. For them, the only time when they can take darshan of Jagannath is during. Therefore, you'll see a lot of foreigners, they'll come just to take darshan of Jagannath on the Rath. And this person was not allowed inside the temple. He didn't take darshan of Jagannath, he wanted to take darshan of Jagannath. So somehow he remembered, now is the time of Rath Yatra. And for your information, he writes in a song that 750 koshas far it is. Oh Lord, you are on the Rath. Please remain on the Rath till I come. I want to take darshan of yours on the Rath. Jagannath Rath Yatra started. Lord reached Gundicha temple. He stayed there for 9 days. 10th day is again back onto the Rath. And he's moving. He's moving towards the Sri Mandir, the main temple. Because that's how the Rath Yatra takes place between the two temples. And our Salbeg, he has already started from Vrindavan, running. And throughout the road, throughout the path, he's running and he's praying to the Lord intensely. That, oh Lord, I want to take your darshan. I know what I'm asking is not proper, but I want to take your darshan. And in that mood, he's running. Last chance for him. Lord is on the Rath. Lord is moving towards Sri Mandir. And since a great devotee like him is praying to the Lord, Lord, stop the Rath. Jagannath is very special, by the way. Jagannath will put the brake and Jagannath will press the accelerator. And that's how the Rath moves. And Jagannath ka aisa brake tha is time. Rath stopped. And normally when the Rath stops, during that time, they would do yagyas. They would do kirtan. After all that, physically they would try by getting elephants and pull. Nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. And Lord is there on the Rath. And no one is understanding what's happening. And here comes Salbeg running, and the Rath is there. Lord is there inside the Rath. And Salbeg goes in front of the Lord. The only thing that he could do was cry profusely that, oh Lord, for a patita like me, you stayed back on the Rath. For a poor fallen person like me, you stayed back on the Rath. Immediately he got another mood where he said, please forgive me, O Lord. I gave you inconvenience. Travel थोड़ी अच्छा लगता है किसी को अच्छा लगता है क्या travel? Yes. When we travel from one place to another, it's not good. Once you reach your place, you feel good. And Salbeg is saying, oh Lord, you left all the opulence of Sri Mandir, all the upcharas that are offered in Sri Mandir, only for me. Please forgive me, O Lord, for this inconvenience. And he was crying in ecstasy. And somehow this news spread. And everyone got to know that Lord stayed back for Salbeg. And at that point of time, Salbeg started praying, oh Lord, I request you, please start moving. Who pressed the brake? Jagannath or Salbeg? Devotee is so wonderful. A pure devotee is so wonderful. And Lord is ready to do anything for his devotee. Therefore, Lord says, Aham bhakta paradhina ya swatantra eva dvija sadhu bir grasta hridayo bhaktair bhakta jana priya. Lord is saying, oh Durvasa Muni, I don't have any control. The control of my desires, my power of willing is there in the hands of sadhus. Not just sadhus, the devotees of the sadhus, they also control me. And here we see very wonderfully that how Salbeg, for him, now the Lord stopped. And in this way, we understand very clearly from the beautiful pastime of Salbeg that how association of a devotee is very important to advance in bhakti. Prayers of a pure devotee is very important to advance in bhakti. Pleasing a pure devotee is very important because by the mercy of a pure devotee, we will get a great treasure, and that great treasure is called as Krishna Prem will come, Naam Ruchi. Yes, and then we have Krishna Prem, no doubt. That will automatically come, Naam Ruchi. And therefore, the one thing that we have to do is, as Lalita had instructed Salbeg, without any break, continue rendering devotional service. Whatever happens in our life, thing that we have to do is continue doing devotional service with one goal. I want to give pleasure to Srila Prabhupada and always remember the sacrifice of Lalita, and she became Fatima only for one thing, to protect the Lord and the Lord's temple. And for us, the sacrifice that we have is sacrificing our time, sacrificing our energy, using our intelligence, sacrificing our intelligence, our hard earned wealth, various other things that we have to spread this mission of Krishna consciousness. And we'll also become very, very dear to Krishna. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki, Bhakta Kavi Salbeg ki, Jagannath Puri Dham ki.